Visa, MasterCard, Discover card, something like that, you absolutely want to go ahead and use it every now and then. Now, already those are three bASS Ackwards actions or inactions that could be holding back or hurting your credit scores. So make sure you pay attention to those things. Let me move to something else right quick. Let's go to your inquiries. Let's go to inquiries. Now, I can opine 4 hours on inquiries because I think I really think it's one of the worst pillars of the five. So having your credit pull too many times is a bad thing, right? So I'm gonna call it bASS Ackwards because on one hand, I'm putting up air quotes, they want you to have credit, and I'm putting up air quotes again, want you to look at your credit, but they again penalize you for doing so. So what kind of sense does that make? You want me to do something, and then when I do that thing, you penalize me for doing it. So that doesn't make any sense to me. That's why I say that it's bASS Ackwards. So, like I said, I can rant for too long on how this bugs me. It just bugs me to death, but I won't today. I won't do that. So it is what it is. So get some inquiries, because if you need an account, you need to go get an account. Get some inquiries, but not too many and not too often. Little credit tip for you right quick on inquiries. The newer models, I think FICO 8 and above, so FICO 8, 9, and 10 and above, they no longer count against your score after 12 months, even though they stay on your credit report for 24 months. So after 12 months, even though it's sitting there, it's not hurting your credit score anymore at all. No. So initially, anyway, they took those, 2 to 10 points away from you as it is, but it's not going to be a major factor, even though it's 10% of your credit score. It won't be a major factor for you when it comes to, whether your score is going to go up and down. This pillar is not one I typically worry about with any of my clients. It's really rare. Maybe a couple clients I've had that had 25 inquiries and it just didn't make sense. And yep, we need to go and try to get them pulled off your credit report. Other than that, I don't really mess around with those for the most part. I don't mess around with them. So, all right, let me do this. Let me take a pause for the calls right quick. And I got a couple more shout outs. Latrice Edwards, she celebrated her birthday this past week. So happy birthday to you, Latrice Edwards. Known her a long time as well. The beautiful Tracy Morris, she celebrated her birthday. Happy birthday to you, Tracy. Katisha Trigg, she celebrates her birthday coming up. I think it's on Monday. So happy birthday to you, Katisha. Risha Nunnally is celebrating his birthday on the 11th, I believe. And a longtime listener of the show, Chrisana Simpson, is celebrating her birthday next week too. So happy birthday to all of you all. Look, if you have a birthday coming up, if you got an anniversary coming up, like Tanner and Margot Cooper, then you contact me. Send me an email, 800@creditscoreman.com, and you might get your shout out on the 800 Credit Score Man show. I love that interaction, so please do send me those if you've got a birthday or some kind of celebration, graduation, whatever it is. You got a celebration. I don't care what it is. You finish your 12-step program, contact me. We're gonna shout you out. You got you a 700 credit score and you came from 500. Let me know so we can celebrate you on the 800 Credit Score Man show. That's 800@creditscoreman.com. That's where you can send those emails. All right, so I had a question of the day too, and I don't know where it went in my notes, but I do remember a little bit about it. So I'm gonna try to muddle through this question of the day. So question of the day, I know it came from Hillary. And Hillary is a man. So thank you, Hillary, for contacting me. He sent me an email, just like you can, 800@creditscoreman. He sent me an email. And the gist of his email was he had a couple options. He had a couple options for getting some financing, and he didn't say what for. So his question was, he has some military options. He can go to a military bank or he can go to a military credit union. And he asks, what is the best for his credit? And so and this was right before we went on air too, which is why I remember it so well. And so that was his question. And so my reply back to him, which one was best for his credit, is this: either, either doesn't matter for your credit which one did you pick. You talking about a military bank, or you talking about a military credit union? For your credit, it doesn't matter. As long as you can get approved, then you're good when it comes to that. Now, those of you that don't know or haven't listened to each and every show, or maybe you missed this one, when I talked about credit unions versus banking institutions, I prefer credit unions personally. I've worked at a bank before in my life. I'm a member of a credit union only because they had better rates and whatnot. So I'm a member of that. But I also have, a couple bank accounts as well. So I'm not knocking banks at all. However, they work a little bit differently. They work a little bit differently. And in my opinion and my experience, credit unions' interest rates for you are typically better. That doesn't necessarily mean for your savings account. They're going to give you 1% versus a bank that's going to give you 0.5. I'm not necessarily meaning that. But if you're going to go buy a vehicle and you're going to use your bank or you're going to use a credit union, oftentimes the credit union's interest rate is a little bit lower than the bank. So for you, Hillary, I'm saying it doesn't matter when it comes to your credit. So since that's not a factor, what you want to do is look and see which one gives you the best deal on stuff. So if you're not looking to buy a home or what have you, you can still call them up and ask them questions. Hey, what's the current rate for your mortgage? You can even tell them what your credit score is or what you would anticipate your credit score would be. What is the given rate? You can call the bank and you can call the credit union and ask them both the same thing and see what do they say in terms of interest rates. And when it comes to that, you can ask them about a personal loan. Call them and ask them, hey, I think I want to come in and get like $1,000. What is going to be my interest rate if I do so? And generally speaking, they can just give you a general ballpark what it's going to be for each institution. I also said to him that Navy Federal Credit Union is my absolute favorite credit union, period. Period. Against mine, against each and everybody else's, that is my absolutely favorite, period. Because I've just had too many interactions with them, and each and every one of them have been positive. I am not a military member, but my brother was, so I think I can actually use that if I want to use Navy Federal Credit Union myself. But I just found it to be my interactions with them to be 100% positive. For clients that I've had, people I've sent there that did have military experience and interactions, they have done a wonderful job. So I'm going to pick a credit union over a bank probably each and every time anyway. So Hillary, thank you so very much for contacting me. You didn't tell me where you were from, so I'm going to make up something. You're going to be from Texas, since I know there's a couple of military bases down there, right? So Hillary from Texas, thank you so very much. You are officially a part of the 800 Credit Score Men Show family. All right, so if you got questions, whatever they are, send me your questions. All you got to do is email me, 800@creditscoreman.com. Email me there, and I will absolutely get back to you and let you know what I think on what your question is, and you may become a part of the 800 Credit Score Man Show family. So thank you. All right, so it's actually the last one. So here's the last thing that I want to talk to you guys about. And let me recap right quick. So one of the first things we talked about is you not having any credit at all. That's not a good thing for you. That's bASS Ackwards though, because it's like, okay, I don't owe anybody, so I should be good, right? No, that's not the case, because we need something to judge you off of. That's what FICO's saying when they're trying to give you a credit score. They're saying we need something to judge you off of, and we just can't. So that's one thing. Not having a credit card at all, that's an issue for you, all right? When we said we were going to keep with the credit card thing, having them but not using the credit card, that's not necessarily good for you. And again, bASS Ackwards. Inquiries. Oh my God. Again, I'm not going to get into inquiries because it gets my blood to boiling when I talk about inquiries. So here's the thing I want to talk to you about. Paying a collection. Now, save this one for last because a lot of people got collections. People have collections and for all kinds of stuff. And I want to tell you people to watch out for some things. You people, listen to me. I'm going to tell you to watch out for, and I hate to call companies out, but Progressive Insurance, which I actually like. I don't have Progressive. I've contacted them for quotes before and whatnot. I know a lot of people with Progressive. They seem to be I like the company from outside looking in. However, they are turning up on credit reports as a collection way too often lately. So I want you to watch out for them. If you have Progressive and you're not paying your premium, you're not paying it on time, make sure you pay your premium on time with Progressive. If you are going to leave them and jump ship and go to another insurance company, contact them and tell them that you're not coming back and you no longer need that policy. If you trade your car in, if you get rid of that car, whatever it is, and now you no longer have it, something unfortunate happened, you had a car accident and now the car is gone, please, please, please notify them, because they have been placing collections on people's credit reports way too often, and whatever a premium is. So I haven't even seen one over $200, but they're on people's credit report and it's hurting their credit scores. I've got one client already working on his credit, doing an amazing job. Credit scores up 40, 60 points in a month and a half, what have you, and then something pops up on his credit with Progressive. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, I will say they have been accommodating. They have been accommodating when we've contacted them, told them what happened or whatever it is. They've been absolutely accommodating when it comes to removing it from credit reports. But why go through that? Why go through that hassle? Just give them a call if you're with them, and make sure that everything's on the up and up, especially if you're going to have an issue. Especially if you're going to have an issue or you're making some kind of changes. Pick up the phone and give them a call. Who does them? Flo? Call Flo. Make sure you call Flo and tell Flo, hey, I'm making some changes and this is what it is and what's my final bill, whatever it is. So make sure you do that. All right. So again, my bad. So back to collections right quick. So let's say you had an issue and with paying and an account went to collections, but then you got it together and you paid the collection. You think you get applauded, you get a pat on the back, you get kudos or some credit points or something. Unfortunately, no, you don't get that when you pay a collection. You don't get any of those things when you pay a collection. So listen to me clearly. Listen to me very clearly. Although some credit education companies are saying now you can gain points by paying off a collection, I have yet to see that come to fruition. So some places that I even talk about on the show often are saying if you got a collection, and if you don't have one, you don't know what we're talking about. But if you've got a collection, it'll say if you pay the whole collection off, this is how many points you could potentially get back. If you settle with the collection, meaning you negotiate a lower amount, this is how many points you can get off. If the collection is totally removed from your account, this is how many points you can expect to be added to your credit report. So I have yet to see that portion come to fruition. Prior to that and the newer versions of FICO, paying a collection did absolutely nothing for your credit score. It did good for you, or it did good for the company, but it didn't do anything at all for your credit score. What you need to do when it comes to collection is have it removed. You've got to make these negotiations up front at the same time you're agreeing to make a payment or to pay it off, or however you're doing it. You need to do this at the same time. At the same time. So that doesn't mean don't pay your collections. So I'm not saying that. I'm not one of those credit people that advocate not paying your collections at all. It absolutely depends. It depends on the collection. The majority of collections, I say pay if we can't get them removed another way. So, of course, we're going to try to get them removed another way. You know me, you've been listening to the show. I don't like you to pay for anything you don't have to pay for. So, you go and you can pay your collections, but you got to negotiate to have them removed. That's the best way to help you. I'm not concerned about XYZ company. I'm not concerned about TransUnion. I'm not concerned about FICO. I can care less about any of them. You are who I care about. So we're going to do the thing that's best for you. whether that's paying the collection, whether it's ignoring this collection, whether we're going to ride it out until it falls off, whatever it is, it's going to be in your best interest. And there's always factors to weigh into that. How much is the collection? How long has it been on your credit report? All these kinds of things. Is it actually yours?